Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Happy New Year again. My name is Malcolm Oluwafumilaya, the creative director of Wajukoto.
I'll be
Thank
using
you.
those bodies for two illustrations. If you want, you can extend from the waist downwards to your desire, to your length desire. So from the shoulder down here is my bust point, BP, and of course this is the waist dart. This is the waist dart. Waist dart pointing to the bust. So I'm going to start with these strapless princess bodies, the one you know as tube. So quickly, let's start. I'm locating the middle now. I'm actually meant to close it so I can open it more. So on this part, I'm going to roll it out and measure 3/4. You divide 3/4 into 2, which is going to give you 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8. You take it down to the bust point in this direction. So the tube is going to be a princess cut. A sweetheart neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do, this is my chest level. To arrive at this chest level, all you need to do is from, let me say, A to B, which is the neck depth. You measure and divide it into 3. Whatever your answer is will be your chest level. So from the chest level, I'm going to connect in this form with my curve in this direction. If you want, you can make it more. Depends on you. So on this, remember this is the midway. This is the shoulder. So on this point, I'm going to measure 3/8 on both sides. 3/8 on both sides. I'll connect to the bust point in this direction. So you can reshape this. Just ensure you have the curve as you desire. So on this side, I'm going to take it down by by half inch, and I'll take it in by half inch. I'll bring it down by half and take it in by half inch. So I'm going to connect it down in this direction to my side. Then connect this to, I hope you understand what I did there. So at the end of the day, I'm closing all of this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to determine my bust, my under bust, which is somewhere here. So on that line, I'm going to measure out 3/8 again. If you want, you can use less. So I'll connect this line in this direction and mark it in this direction. I hope you can see what I did. Then connect it to the waist. So I'm done with the center front for now. We are done with the center front. Though we are still going to trace out, but for now, this is the center front. So let's quickly see how the center back will look. So for the center back, we're going to do the same thing here. We take it down by half inch on the side, from the side, and in half inch. Then you connect to the side in this direction. Now, one thing again is where we have the zipper. So where we have the zipper, as in the center back, you will measure 1 inch for extension. 1 inch for extension in this direction by 6 inches. 1 inch extension for the zipper or button or cord or loops, depends on whichever you want to apply. So that will be the level at which, so we are going to connect this zipper extension to where we have this, where the side is in this direction. this direction. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take out quarter each on both sides. Quarter each on both sides. The essence of that is to make the back firm. But while you're working, if you realize you need more, you can do that. So we are done with the center back. This is the center back. This is 6 inches and it's 6 inches by 1 inch. So I'll quickly trace out for us to see how it's going to the cutout and how it's going to look like. So I'm tracing out the center front now. I told you I'll be using this for 2 different strapless garments. So this is the first one, which is tube. So I'm done with the tracing for the center front. So I'm going to trace the center back now. So I'm done. So let's see what the cutouts will look like. So this is the center back. I've traced out. So I'm going to cut out. This is the dart, which is going to be out. So this is the side. This is the side. So I'll just cut out now. So this is the back. This arrow indicates that this is where the dart has been cut out, and you're going to stitch together back. At the end of the day, when you stitch, you're going to trim this excess off by blending it. So let's quickly look at the front. For the center front, this is what I have. This is the front, center front, this is the side. And we still need to do little adjustments. We're going to close this. We're going to close this dart and we're going to add up to this place. Remember, this is the bust point. This is the bust point. So let's cut. You follow the lines, the side. Remember, we're going to close this dart here, but first we need to cut out all the excesses. So now we close this. Then for this side, you cut by blending. I hope you see what I did. You saw what I did, sorry. So I closed the dart already, and when I did, you can see that it's bending stylishly. So I need to blend it with the line, then cut that part off. So here we're going to add little seam to it. I'll be leading you to a little secret because this is what some will not tell you. So at this bust point, you're going to measure quarter. You're going to add quarter in this direction. Quarter inch, then you blend it down to about 2 inches and 2 inches upward. How do you achieve that? You measure in this direction, then you measure from that bust point again in this direction. Then you use your curve to blend it to blend it. The essence of that is for the bust to relax, to sit well. Then you blend it again. You blend again. I hope you understand what I just did. You blend again. Now we have different busts. So what worked for me might work for you or not, but this is how you go about it. You blend it in this direction. So we're going to do the same with this. Like we did with this side, you'll be doing the same thing to the center front. You measure your quarter in this direction, then 2 inches from the bust point in a curve way, like that. You do the same from the bust point in this direction. Then you use your curve to blend it. You do the same to the other side. In this direction. So of course, like I did, you blend it so you won't have issue there when you're stitching together. You're stitching, working on the seam. So that is that with it. Then you can now add your seam allowance and all that. So at the end of the day, this is what we have for the center fronts. You can see the BP, that's the bust point meeting, and this part of it is going to be cut on fold because of the center front. And one thing again, if you want, you can cut it in pieces or on fold. So thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching. So the next thing we are going to do is to cut into fabric, which we're going to upload, and I'll say stay tuned, watch. So how to make the tube, I'll be using calico or tail to make it, just a sample for you to see what it looks like. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, we already did a pattern for the strapless bodice, which is known as strip, and we cut out in the first part. Now this is the second part where we're going to stitch all this together. This fabric is called calico or tail, which I have placed my pattern on. This is my center front, this is my side of center front, the side of center back, and the center back with extension. Now I'm using this fabric because it's tutorial, and for some of us who wants to use other fabric, all you need to do by the time you cut all this out is to apply your interfacing, the cotton interfacing, the paper interfacing. We have different types of interfacing. We have the light and the medium and the heavy one. So whichever pleases you can use. But for this course, I won't be applying interfacing. Rather, I'm going to apply facing. That's the upper part of the center front and the center back. So right now I'm going to cut out and show us how to stitch it. So if you're applying your interfacing, all you need to do is to cut out your interfacing in the same shape, in the same pattern. Then you place on your fabric the wrong side. Now you apply. Here is very smooth and here is harsh. That harsh place is where you're going to face on the wrong side of your pattern. That is the cutout on your garment in your hair. That's how to apply that. And of course, if you are going to line it, you're going to cut out the same pattern. So let's quickly get back to work. Let me cut out. So I already applied my so that you can have a good cutout. So I've already applied my seam allowance, so it will be much easier for me to stitch. For some parts you don't need huge seam allowance, as you can see. If you notice, like this side, you don't need huge seam allowance. Let me just cut. So center back now. So I have my center back cut out and I have my center front as well. So I'm going to start with the center front. I'm going to remove my pins and notch the bust point, which is somewhere here. I'm going to notch it so both can meet. I'm going to unpin the other side, which is the center front. Mark here. Like I said, if you choose to, you can apply your interfacing. So I'm going to open it up in this direction, then place the sides on each one like this, pin. I'm going to do the same to the side. I'm going to pin it. So I'm going to go to the machine and stitch by 3/8, which I have it in that direction. Stay with me. Now we have it stitched. You can see we have it stitched. So I'm going to collect my pins back. The next thing we are going to do is to notch, so we can reduce the bulkiness. The bulk, yeah, you notch your clip in this direction. So by the time you iron, it make it relax. Do you understand? So this is the control for the woman. But you need to iron it. You need to iron it. By the time, let's assume you apply your interfacing, fine, it will just come up like that. But we need to iron it now. And before that, I will need to use this to cut my facing for the center front. Yes, I'll be using this to cut my facing for the center front. The facing is used to finish up the edge, or to knit the edge. So I'm going to do that now. You can as well use the pattern for the facing. All you need to do is ensure you close this in this direction, then you pin it down. So I'm going to use that for my facing now. So I'm going to place it in this direction and mark out. So the facing will be like the height of the facing. I'll make it 2 or 2.5 or 3 inches. Depends on how you want it. I'm not putting lining, I'm just putting facing. So when that is done, I'm going to measure. So let's start with the measurement here. So okay, this is 2. Based on what I have here, that's why I'm using that. Then I have it connect down like this. Connect down like this. You can apply you apply your interfacing to retain the shape. You apply your interfacing on it to retain the shape. So I'm going to also use facing for the back, but for now we are still dealing with the front. Sorry. So of course we need to iron this. So I'm going to just show us what it looks like. This is it. Then you pin in this direction. You must have applied your SD or paper interfacing. You understand? Then you see. Then you have it stitched together. When you apply that over here, you have to overlock it. So at the end of the day, by the time you stitch, it's going to lay. By the time you stitch, it's going to lay. So let's stitch the back while we are waiting for the center front. So let's quickly stitch the back. So for the center back, this is facing each other. You place this in this direction. You stitch down. Right this face to the side. Stitch down. So we have the center back stitched together. All you need to do is to open the seams iron, and then all you also need to cut out facing for the center back. So what do? So it's very simple. You place it in this direction. You need to apply your interfacing as well. On the center back. You place it in this direction. Then you mark it out. You place it in this direction, you mark. Remember to make use of your chalk. It's because this is tutorial. That's why I'm using pencil. It's not right to use pencil on either your client's fabric or yours. Use your chalk, please. Use your chalk. So when that is determined, all you need to do is to measure. Remember, we use 2 inches at the center front, so you use that same 2 inches so that it doesn't look funny when you merge the back and the front together. Yes. So like I said, you're going to apply your interfacing. You apply your interfacing. Yeah. On both sides. This is 2 pieces. When you apply your interfacing, of course, you can overlock the seams. If you want, you can insert bone. That's if you're applying lining. So this is it. So let's go to the machine to stitch.